Welcome back to Agent Tactics. It is another Thursday with my personal coach, the person who has saved me from despair many times, the person who knows more about real estate than I can even imagine, and I know quite a bit, Kristi Jencks, Tom Ferry coach extraordinaire. If you are going to Summit in 2 weeks, Kristi's actually going to be talking on stage, and today we're going to talk about AI and how we can benefit our businesses. Kristi Jencks with a NCKS, not JENKS, which she was my coach for many years. And she says at one point, "Can you start adding the C to my name?" And I was like, "What?" So, Kristi Jencks.
Actually, it's really funny because I was telling my assistant, I've been on Agent Tactics a couple times with Jeremy, and I always forget to tell her because he's usually like, "Hey, can you come in and do this?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and then I forget to tell her, so then she doesn't put it out in my newsletter and different things like that. And so we were going through, and I was like, he has my name spelled probably like four different ways on some of the guides. Like it was like JNXS, JNKS. So it's funny that you say that because I just noticed this past week on some of the old stuff. I was like, I got to tell him how to spell my name. But
Yeah.
even Tom Ferry does it occasionally, spells it wrong. So no offense, it is Jencks, not Jinx, but it doesn't really matter because we're gonna have some fun today. And I saw someone on here, and they must have bounced off. I'm actually gonna have one of you guys be my students. I'm thinking maybe Gail, if she can commit to having her camera on and she already has her camera on, she's muted. I don't know, Gail, do you want to be my student today?
Sure, I'm in.
Okay, all I ask for is that you stay on the call because I literally just loaded up somebody and then I looked and they're gone. So I'll let you know, Gail, when I'm ready for you. Because I'm going to show everybody on here today some of the things that I've learned from Jason Pantana. I've got some surprises for you. I let him know. I said, "Hey, I'm going on a podcast, Agent Tactics. We specifically want to talk about AI because they want to rank higher on these large language models and get suggested as a real estate agent in XYZ city." And I told them that I've learned all of this stuff from you. And if I could share your stuff, I would be eternally grateful. And he said, "Heck yes, go ahead and do it. And by the way, give them a code in case they do want to sign up for the AI Marketing Academy at 50% off for life." So I'll give you all of that, guy, all of the stuff that Jason gave me permission to give you. So everything I've learned to help my clients rank and to be suggested as a realtor of choice, I've learned from Jason Pantana, and I'm going to break it down for you step by step. Now, here's the cool thing. Many times we learn about strategies like YouTube. I know Jeremy has told a lot of you guys, you can't post one YouTube video and then expect to get a call from a client tomorrow, right? It takes consistency, it takes time, right? You've got to show up again and again. What's happening with AI search or AI optimization, there's a bunch of different names for it, but what's happening with answer optimization, I think even after the Tom Ferry Success Summit, a bunch of people are going to try to like dabble in this and then like fall off. But I see this as a unique opportunity. This is like the early days of when people first jumped on Facebook and they started getting all this organic traffic and movement and opportunity. Or same thing with Google pay-per-click when that, first came, or Google local service ads like we talked about last week. There is a unique opportunity right here, something that you don't want to sleep on because the way that people are searching is changing. Generative AI is reshaping web search. And what that means for us is that our content strategy should change a little bit. We know because of 1,000 watts data that over like I think it's like right around 28% research agents online, another 15% just go to a website like Fast Expert or Zillow. So we know that people are searching for agents online. But now we are seeing with OpenAI and ChatGPT and tools like Perplexity and Grok and Claude that even more people are just picking up their phone and talking to AI in conversational tone asking for recommendations. So it's no longer going to Google, although Google is definitely one of the top 2 tools to use, but that Google search bar, and we just hope to land on the first page of Google. It's very different now because you're conversationally asking, hey, I'm thinking about, going out for Italian food next week. We're looking for XYZ. This is our budget. And then the AI will answer your question and give you suggestions. So the way that consumers are searching and asking questions is changing fast. Search engines like ChatGPT, Perplexity, and actually, I'd love for you to throw it in the chat. What is your favorite AI tool that you use to get questions answered? Right? So if you want to get a question answered, you want to do some search, what's the tool that you use? So ChatGPT depends on the topic. Tell us more, Becky. Depends on the topic. How so?
Sorry. Yeah, if I want something to be written, like I want in a better way. Sorry, I can't talk today. I need then I would go to ChatGPT. I think it's better at giving you just like a summary or writing. If I want to do something where it's like actual like current research, like for example, if I'm gonna put together a local happenings email or something, I'm going to go to Perplexity because it's more up to date. ChatGPT will give me things from like 2023. If I have questions about like how to use something or like more like, I don't know, I hate to say reasoning, but like a logical thing, like I like Claude.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you, Becky. So, and that's a great answer. I use all of these large language models for different purposes the same. I love to do my content creation inside of ChatGPT. I do all of my search inside Perplexity. I like to use local happenings with Grok. I feel like it's just a little more spicy and it has that social element that's tied into it. Anytime I need to create an artifact or do any type of coding, I jump over to Claude. It's a little annoying that I have to use several different platforms. I'm only paying for 2 of them, ChatGPT and Claude. And the only reason I'm paying for Claude is because I'm trying to build something pretty dang cool for my clients. And I keep running out of credit. So I had to finally bite the bullet and buy that. So I'm glad to see, and I love that Dee says I'm old fashioned with ChatGPT. Because ChatGPT, I mean, does it really feel old fashioned? No joke, my kids last night asked me, they're like, Mom, what are some of the things you didn't have when you were a kid? And I tried to convince them that we didn't have socks and shoes because they think I'm so old. They're like, did you have color TVs? It's like, guys, I was born in 1980. Yes, I had a color TV. I just didn't have the internet. I didn't have a cell phone growing up, and my teenage self and college self thanks me for that. So, back to the topic at hand. So AI is very powerful in recommending things for us, but there's some things we need to be aware of as real estate agents that AI doesn't do that Google used to. So for one, AI can't read your reviews, right? So Google, Zillow, Yelp, and other platforms, they have elements in there that AI can't index. So it's on us to make sure that we optimize our bio so that AI can tell folks when they're saying, I'm looking for a top rated agent, I'm looking for a 5-star agent. We can actually change how we show up, but just by keeping our bios updated and saying, a 250 plus 5-star reviews. That's like a little simple thing. AI heavily prioritizes indexable text. Think structured content, lists specifically, using headers and subheaders. And again, that is something that we can change and enhance with our bio. It favors websites with domain authority. So if I were in charge of hosting a Zillow anonymous meeting, I don't know how to appropriately land this joke because I don't want to make fun of Alcohol Anonymous or anything like that. But there is like a wide group of people who are like, I'm quitting Zillow, right? And I've once heard Tom say that Zillow's like one of the only platforms that calls its clients users. And I'm like, okay, I kind of get that. You know what I mean? Like a Zillow addict. I was like, okay. But if I were running a Zillow anonymous group, I would start by just saying, I acknowledge that Zillow exists. It's neither good nor bad. It exists and consumers use it. And because consumers use it, we need to make sure that we know how it's being used and that we can influence that through our free, and so far it's still free, Zillow account as a realtor. You can change it. So AI loves Zillow. You know what other website it really loves? And this just boggles me. Fast Expert. You ask it, like, I need a real estate agent in Mesa, Arizona, and it's going to give you some agent that sold a home 5 years ago because they have a Fast Expert profile. But they love it, right? They love it. So we can and have to adapt our strategy. I'll tell you, for years, we've been focused on Google, and Google has served us really well. I stopped getting Zillow reviews. Well, unfortunately, we have to go back to getting Zillow reviews because AI always pulls from Zillow. It always does. It will pull the agent's rankings. And why does it do that? Well, because it can see your bio, it can see some locations, it can't read all of the reviews and things, but your bio is heavily influenced. So it's important that we are aware of how we're showing up and ranking, because Zillow's looking at an EEAT indicator. It's looking at expertise, experience, right? Authority and trustworthiness. Those are all things that we can influence through our bios. And that's kind of where we started this conversation. Now, I'm going to take you through what Jason has. He's laid out like 6 easy steps to be able to enhance your bio. And then he gave me permission to give you his prompt that he created. Nobody prompts like Jason Pantana, by the way. Guy's brilliant. He gave me permission to give you his prompt to help you enhance your bios and help you rank. Every single week, I get text messages and I get emails from my coaching clients saying, oh my gosh, coach, I just got my first lead from Grok. I just got my first lead from ChatGPT. How does that happen? Well, it happens because someone went into one of these large language models and had a conversation with AI that led them to my client, right? So let's get that done for you. And Gail is going to be my student today. I'm going to give you all of these prompts. I'm not going to give them to you until the end because I don't want you to like go off and start doing it for yourself. I kind of want you to pay attention and stay with us. And if obviously you guys can ask questions. So I'm going to share my screen and I've already loaded my very first prompt. So you guys can see my screen. I'm over here in ChatGPT and we're going to start with the very first part. So the first step, Pantana says, is you need to actually do the, AI version of Googling yourself, right? So that means that Gail and I are going to search her in a large language model. Now, I chose ChatGPT. I recommend that you do this in Perplexity. I recommend that you do this in Grok for sure, and definitely ChatGPT. You could also do it in Claude because you want to see a couple different things. So here is the prompt that we're going to use. Tell me about Gail Culver. So you're going to use your name. And Gail, remind me what broker you're with. This was already loaded for someone else. What broker? Real. Okay. And then Mesa specifically, or what area do you service?
Mesa.
Okay. So if you, like I work in Gilbert and Queen Creek, I would do this for Gilbert and Queen Creek. She's probably going to do this for Mesa. If she only wants to work with Mesa, and I doubt she does because she's here in the East Valley with me, then you're going to want to run this for the areas that you service. She's not going to say Phoenix. Phoenix is really large. If she does a lot of her advertising for the Southeast Valley, you could also run this Southeast Valley. If you have nicknames, so I was doing some research this morning for a client that I coach in Houston, and I was looking for something for Katie Day. I didn't know her name was Caitlin. I had no idea, but if you use or have various different names, and if you also have a team, so, I don't know, Gail, do you have a team? Do you also run by a team name?
I've had a team. I do not have a team anymore.
Okay, so these would be the various ways that I would search myself. So I would be Kristi Jencks with the Big Helper Realty Group with Real Broker in Gilbert, Arizona specifically and then I would pick that area. So you want to look at the various ways that you might show up because we want to see, and it will change. Now, the rest of this goes is one, I want to know how Gail shows up in AI search. Two, I want to know what blind spots she has in her online presence, and it's going to tell us specifically related to AI search or AI answer optimization. And then based on what we know about the future of online search and AI search and all of that, what steps can she immediately take? This is the prompt that we're going to do. And we're just going to drop it in and let it do its work. By the way, like how many of you guys are liking GPT-5? I'm kind of sad. I like GPT-4 more. I'm waiting for GPT-5 to knock my socks off. I don't know. I felt like GPT-4 was so well. You know, when like Gen Z and Gen Alpha say the algorithm knows them so well, I actually kind of feel that about my AI. I feel like ChatGPT knows me so well, and not just because it glazes me, because I told it not to glaze me, but let's see what it says about Gail. So the first thing in my searches here, how she comes across the platform. Zillow, strong presence displayed as a realtor with Real Broker, showing her recent sales, her reviews, listings, contact information, excellent visibility when potential clients view. And it's also going to show her Zillow profile right here if we click on that. Now, out of curiosity, Gail, when's the last time you updated your Zillow profile?
A couple weeks ago.
Love it. She's on top of it. Most of the time when I do this exercise with clients, they're like, I haven't touched Zillow in a while, right? And I was the same. I was the same way. I think it still has like one of my pets that passed away. It was kind of crazy. Realtor.com is showing you. That's fantastic. Her own website, Arizona Real Estate Expert. Is that your website?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so here's where for everybody on the call, I want you to be aware, depending on the brokerage that you're with. So a lot of the big brands will have a company website. So I think April's on here. I know she's with Remax and just got an award. Congratulations, April, in Texas. Your website, your broker may list you on their website. You want to make sure that if you have a personal website, that it's actually picking up your personal website. If it's picking up your broker's website, that's still awesome. And when's the last time you updated your broker's website agent profile? You guys following along with me? So oftentimes they just throw, they'll throw your picture up there. They may throw something up there that you did not write, or maybe you wrote it 10 years ago when you joined the brokerage. So you want to be very cognizant of where it's pulling from what websites. And if it's only pulling your broker's website and it's not finding your personal website, we've got some work to do. So that's really good that it found her personal website. It's also found her on homes.com, and it also pulled her social media, Instagram, which is fantastic. I'm surprised that it's not pulling some of your other stuff. I imagine you're also on Facebook. Are you on TikTok and LinkedIn? Okay, so we probably need to do a little bit more digging in to make sure there's consistency in her naming convention and how she shows up online. Have you indexed your Google business profile with Bing Places? Not index, have you connected them?
I don't know.
Probably not. Probably not. And that's a trick question. That's not fair to you, but that's why I asked you to be my student. So one of the interesting pieces is we know is that ChatGPT is powered by Bing. How many of you guys use Bing as your primary search engine? Yeah, I don't know anybody that's excited about Bing. But when you're Microsoft and you put all this money into OpenAI, it is what it is. Will, actually, I saw yesterday that OpenAI put in a bid for Chrome. Did you guys see that? So did Perplexity. Perplexity and OpenAI both are trying to buy Chrome because of the whole, monopoly situation and things like that. So it's not, it might not always be that the search engine is Bing, but for now, it is, and we do have to make some adjustments. So if you try to get ChatGPT to read your Google business profile, it may not be able to see it. And it may say, hey, you should have a Google business profile. And you're like, what the heck? I have a Google business profile. One of the easiest things that you can do is go into Microsoft's Webmaster Tools and a quick Perplexity search on this, like just say, hey, how do I do this? It'll give you step-by-step instructions. It's very simple, but you can take your Google business profile and link it to a Bing Places and sync them. And then every time you update your Google business profile, it'll update your Bing Places. And now the large language models will also be able to see your Google business profile because it's pulling from Bing Places potentially natively, right? Does that make sense?
I'm so
So that
glad
might
this
be
is being recorded because this is like fire hose. This is awesome.
I know, Tom, I'm sorry. I have a coaching call at 9. So I also I'll email it to Jeremy and I'll make sure it gets put in the playbook. I've already done this with Perplexity and I have the instructions on how to connect your Google business profile to Bing Places. But that's something that's really important. I'm finding that oftentimes my clients have a Google Search Console set up for their website, meaning they're actually making sure, because Pantana told us like 3 years ago, hey, is your website being indexed by Google? And we were like, humana, right? You know, sometimes he says things and I'm like, what is he saying? He's so smart. And so immediately I was like, Google, what is a Google Search Console and how do I connect it to my website? And I did that. And sure enough, I was like, oh, wow, some of my content is not being indexed by Google, meaning Google wasn't reading it. Well, if Google can't read it, the AI can't read it either. Well, sometimes Bing doesn't always index your stuff. So that's just an extra tool for right now. What we're doing is I'm having my assistant make sure as you're checking our Google Search Console that our content's being indexed, also check Bing just to make sure. And for the most part, it's a pretty easy switch, like just little things that need to be done to make sure that it's being indexed. And this is just, again, a bigger explanation of why it's important to make sure that we're optimizing our profile. So let's look at some of her blind spots. And we all promise not to judge you. They're just glad I didn't pick them. To be my students. So here are some of the gaps that I noticed, right? So lack of schema markup. Almost every coaching client's eyes glaze over when I say this. They'll say, what is schema markup? I just want to sell real estate. Can we just go back to selling real estate? I don't want to be a web developer. And to that I say, Gail, who hosts your website? Which company?
It's hosted by GoDaddy, but it's a lofty website.
Okay, perfect. So what you can do, and this is pretty simple, is when it tells you to do a schema markup, you'll get say, great, I use Lofty as my website provider. What is the SOP, right? Like whenever it says something that you guys don't know, this is the power of this is you just ask it. I'm not sure what you mean. Help me understand, right? Pull out a Phil M. Jones script. Help me understand. Phil M. Jones, ChatGPT, until it gives you the exact instructions that you need. And once you tell it, so if you say, I use an Agent Image website, I use Sierra Interactive, I use, Ylopo. Once you tell it, it will actually write it for you. Many of my advanced coaching clients will go to Claude to have this done because Claude is just better at coding. Maybe ChatGPT 5 is better at it. Again, it doesn't have my full trust, and I know it's listening to me, and I'm sorry, and I still love you, but you got a little buggies that you got to work out right now, right? So just know if I say something like this or you see something, just know it is important. And it's basically your schema markup is how the AI is going to scroll through, read through your content. And when you put that in the proper content, it makes it easier for you to be pulled and recognized. This is a really big one. The lack of FAQ and Q&A content. So AI searches, it's kind of funny because it's lazy. It doesn't want to read like a whole documentary. It wants to scan. It wants to be like 5 reasons Gail is the #1 agent in Mesa, Arizona. And then it's going to look at header 1, right? So H1, H2, H3. If that doesn't make sense to you, don't worry, because when your AI writes the content, it will put it into that format because the prompt that Pantana gave us. So it's lazy and it likes lists. It likes it to just like show me it fast so that I can answer the question. And so frequently asked questions is probably one of the most important things that you could be working on right now. Side note, since Instagram has been pushing to Google. You guys know what I'm talking about. July 10th, Instagram released everything to Google, and it will now show up on Google search, which is pretty awesome because if someone is not on social media searching, to buy a home in Mesa, Arizona, but they're on Google and they're searching, your Instagram post can show up. So long as your Instagram profile is set up correctly, it can show up on Google. And I've already started seeing it happen for many of my coaching clients. That FAQ and Q&A, we already know the power of it on Google Business. You want to do that. And wasn't it Terry last week who was it that, where did I hear that they just paid someone like $30 to do Q&A every single day? And I was like, that's genius. Who
I
said
think
that?
it was Terry last week.
Yeah, I was like, that was super inexpensive. I want to hire that person. And it was genius. And it does work. You want to do the same thing on your website. You want to start having a buyer's frequently asked questions and a seller's frequently asked questions, because AI loves that, and it's going to look for it, and it's going to recommend websites, even of realtors who haven't sold a home in the past year. It's going to recommend their website if they just have it formatted better. Lack of blog content. So it's saying sparse blog or educational content. Do you have a blogging strategy, Gail?
I do. I have a ton of blogs on my website.
So this could be a scenario where they're not structured correctly. They're not indexed correctly because it's not seeing it. Oh man, doesn't that just tick you off, right? You're like, I'm paying good money, I'm spending my time, and you can't even see it? That should fire you up and give you an exciting reason to fix it. Limited local SEO signals. So again, no visible Google business profile. We probably already know it's because she's not connected with Bing and we're in ChatGPT. It might be a different scenario if we ran this in Grok or Perplexity. And then audio or visual content. Some of the other things that I oftentimes see in here is chatbots. That one is making a lot of headway and a lot of gain. And the cool thing is Claude will help you create a chatbot for your website. Fairly easy. So 3, what can she do immediately, right? So 1, we need to work on that schema markup. That's going to help actually your blogs be seen and your website be seen and recommended. We need to build an AI-friendly FAQ hub. It's going to tell you exactly, right? How do I get a VA home in Mesa? Is Mesa a good is good for first-time home buyers, right? Is Mesa a good place to live? Obviously, I'm not your broker, but be the source of the source, right? Like, let's abide by all fair housing regulations, all those kind of things, and make sure that your AI has those instructions. And if you don't have them, download them, upload them into your AI so that it can refer to fair housing and, cover your back. So that FAQ piece, and here's the cool thing about that, guys, like creating the FAQ for your website, repurpose it for social media, repurpose it for YouTube, like repurpose it for all of the platforms that you're going to be on, because why not, right? If it's truly a frequently asked question, don't just put it in one place, repurpose it, make it appropriate for each of those content areas. Publish localized keyword-rich content. That's also known as search engine optimization. So again, top 5 neighborhoods for young families in Mesa, or just top 5 neighborhoods in Mesa, right? Mesa real estate update, summer 2025 trends. Those are just some ideas. AI can help you come up with like the top 25 pretty easily. Launch some video shorts and voice search friendly assets. Well, I know that Gail does do video and shorts. So again, this might be how you're set up on Instagram, and if you have allowed Instagram to see your photos in a creator, so you need to have a creator account, and you turn on to let Google be able to see your photos and your videos and things like that. So optimize local SEO and reviews, assistant ready snippet, add voice, right? And then launch a Mesa Market Minute or an audio or podcast. And you don't have to do all those things. And I wouldn't recommend that you try to implement all of those things at once. Just start to chip away. The schema markup is going to be probably one of the most important things that you do in the very beginning. So to summarize, and now I will give you the I will give you the prompt for number one, but you have to stay with me. Don't go off and try to do it on yourself right now, but I'll put it in here just so you guys can have it and grab it. Okay, so step one is you're going to AI search yourself. Now, here's the thing. I like to think that my clients are pretty dang awesome, but I don't think that people are just out there saying, "Tell me about Jennifer Goodman." Right? Right? They're not saying like, again, Tom is a cool dude, but do they start their search if they're like, "I'm thinking about buying a home." And then they search your name? No. Now, if you get, this is important though, like if someone refers you, they may say, "Oh, Tom Goodman, I'm going to Google him," or "I'm going to look him up on social media. I'm going to search him." But most of our clients are, our real estate clients, that's not happening. We need to know and kind of that Google ourselves. But the second step is I actually want you to go in and do some searching in your area. So I'm going to stay with Gail because she's my student today. And Gail, what do you think? Let's go with sellers. What do you think sellers are searching for on or asking on AI when they're thinking about selling their home?
What agent is going to get me the most money for my house in my area?
Okay, so and I'm going to use your exact words, what agent is going to get me the most money for my home? I'm going to give you some more. I live in Mesa, Arizona. Now, you also need to be incognito, if you will, because you don't want your AI to just throw you in the mix. So maybe use your friend's account or, do some things like that. And you obviously don't have to spell things correctly in AI. It's going to know. You should try. Okay, so here's something important. When I say that I want you to poke around, I want you to do searches, ask questions in AI as if you were a consumer. So I'm thinking about selling my luxury home in Mesa. What realtor can get me the most money? Give me 5 agents to choose from. The question that you ask and the words that you use. So if I say luxury home, luxury is going to be a key word. Mesa is a key word, right? Top agent, right, is top or highly reviewed or best agent. Best, top, highly, number one, those are all keywords. So when I say that I want you to poke around, you want to try different searches, right? If you love selling waterfront property, you're going to probably say waterfront property. If you want to build your luxury, presence, you're going to talk about selling my luxury home, buying a luxury home. If you like to help people buy new construction, you're going to talk about new construction or sell my new construction home, sell my historic home. So it does require a little bit of research, but let's see what we have. What agent is going? Geez, Louise, I went really sideways. Going to get. This is what happened is I put my my cursor. Okay, let's just come back here. What agent is going to get me the most money for my home? I live in Mesa, Arizona, and then I want it to give me 5 options. I don't even know if that is the way that someone would ask it, but for today, we're just going to try it. So it's actually getting to work. Now, this part should piss you off. It's legitimately going to piss you off as you do this search. So you're like, I'm thinking of selling my New Braunfels home. I'm thinking about selling my South Houston home. Insert your city, right? I'm looking for the best agent. Give me 5 options. I promise you, an agent is going to pop up on this and you're going to be like, what the heck? They don't sell any real estate. And that should totally tick you off. It really should. And it's just because they were better at branding themselves online through SEO and other things. But regardless of who it uses, okay? Regardless of who it uses, what I want you to pay attention to are the sources. So it's got Lorraine, it's got now Kenny. I'm not surprised. Here locally, Kenny's like a big deal. So Jason's, yeah, Rachel Richards, pretty big. Lacey and Drew Lehman. I know all of these people. I don't know that person. Do you know Lorraine, Gail? I don't either. So this is interesting. We're going to have to see why it picked Lorraine. The rest of these are big deal agents. And so when we use the keyword for, we wanted the most money, give me 5 agents to choose from. And I can see why it listed these agents. Now, these agents are going to be hard to contend against, and I can tell you why. If we go to Kenny Klaus's Fast Expert and to his Zillow profile, I don't even know how many reviews he's going to have, but he's going to have a ton of sales because he runs like mega team, okay? So if you are a solo agent and you're trying to contend against a mega team, you have to pick your keywords carefully. Maybe you want to be ranking for concierge real estate, right? Because you don't pass people off. Maybe you want to be known for great customer service. Anytime you go top or best, it's automatically going to go find the agent who sells the most real estate. That doesn't mean that they're the best. And many times it's not. I don't know what Kenny Klaus's personal production is, but if I had to guess, I actually don't think Kenny is going out there and actually selling real estate himself. I know he's training, he's mentoring, he's got a lot of different businesses. He runs a mega team under his name. And so be cognizant of that. But let's jump into the sources. So Clever Real Estate. That's actually just a third-party blog site, right? Fast Expert, that's just a third-party referral site. And every single time across all of the large language models. So how many of you guys have a Fast Expert profile? I'll pull a Jeremy, throw a 1 in the chat because I can only see a couple of you guys. Fast Expert is a third party, so Gail does have one, is a third party referral site. What that means is like you sign up, you create a profile, and they're saying, Amy says, I just created one, good job. You create a profile, and then they're like, hey, if we send you leads, you got to pay us a referral. That may make you uncomfortable, and I would say, suck it up. Because you want to be on Fast Expert. You want to be, because all of the large language models rank it. I'm like, what consumer actually goes? Like, I'm super curious. I've never once had one of my consumers say, oh, I found you on Fast Expert. But for whatever reason, it does rank high. They must have a lot of website traffic, or they have really good SEO intent because it's right up there with Zillow. So here's the thing. You don't have to pay a referral if you don't accept the lead. So this one always comes up to say, well, Kristi, what if this person was already in my database and they send me the lead? I'm like, don't accept the lead. And then you also show them, by the way, in my CRM, here's another reason to use your CRM. You can see I entered this person in 2014. I've been working with this person since last year. So the fact that today you tried to refer me, Becky, I'm not paying you. She was already in my database. I've done it numerous times. I've done it with Zillow. I've done it with Fast Expert. I've done it with Realty Exchange, all of the referral networks. If the person is in your database and you can prove it, hence the reason I use my CRM, they won't charge you for it. And you don't have to accept their referrals. But let's utilize the platform to rank higher. There we go, Zillow, right? So it's pulling realtors from Mesa, Arizona. This one, I don't know, real estate agent salary. This is going to be a blog right here. Real Trends, we obviously know. It treats websites like Real Trends like news, and AI likes news. So if ever you can get any type of like news release or news press, that's really, really good, especially associated with things. So like Phoenix Magazine, it's going to treat it like news. We should have it start making real producers. Can we get it to read Real Producers? Because I've been on that magazine several times. Realtor.com, obviously. Clever is another one that's going to be more like a blog. Yelp is almost always referred to. So again, you might have to decide, do I want to have a strategy on Yelp? I'm going to say, yeah, you do, because it is highly ranked on all of the large language models. It's important. Reddit. Why does it like Reddit? Reddit is user-generated content. I had never logged into Reddit until I started to go down this. And now I'm convinced I need a whole Reddit strategy because Reddit is pretty amazing, but it's not something that you can scale. It does require you to log in and answer questions. We can talk about Reddit another day. That's just a website. That's news. That's Yelp. Same thing. So it's kind of going back and back. Now, because of the way that we did this search, it didn't pull up any blogs. So let's go over to Grok and we'll say, I am thinking of selling my luxury home in Mesa, Arizona. I want to work with a local agent. What keyword am I using? Local. I want to work with a local agent who has great customer service and great marketing. Give me 5 options. So luxury, great, customer service, marketing, those are going to all be keywords that you can put into your bio or bios across all of the large language models to be able to influence how it reads you and recommends you. Now, ideally with this search, Grok, what are you doing? It's thinking. Ideally with this search, it's going to pull up some blogs. So typically when you do this, I want you to look for what real estate agents' blogs are pulling up. And you can go ahead and click on any of the sources and look at it. It loves news articles. So again, any of those like top 50 real estate agents, and then it pulls from one of those. It loves news articles. It loves Reddit. It loves Zillow. It loves Fast Expert, and it'll use some other like really big, I would call them blog type of, I'm going to stop my screen share just to see if it speeds up that search, blog type ones. Pick your keywords carefully. So for Gail, she's not going to want to compete. I would even say, Gail, I wouldn't go as big as Mesa. What areas do you really like? Do you like Lehigh, or like what's your favorite places in Mesa?
I like East Mesa, like the Eastmark, Cadence area. It's my bubble.
Okay.
If I could walk,
There
I'd
you
be
go.
happy.
Yeah, so Mesa's pretty big, right? And we have like over 40,000 real estate agents in the Phoenix metro area. And I don't know how many of them are on the east side, but there's a lot of agents that are on the west side that try to come over here and sell real estate. That being said, if even the top 1% are trying and vying for Mesa, it might be hard to compete, right? It might be hard to compete. So what we want to do is we want to go even more niche than that and start to think. She said Eastmark, right? Okay, so perfect. I'm thinking about selling, and I'm going to change it from Mesa to Eastmark. My home in Eastmark, and then go Mesa, Arizona. Eastmark is a lot more narrow. Cadence is a subdivision. Eastmark is a subdivision in Mesa. Cadence is a subdivision in Mesa. That gets very specific. She can do a ton of content and rank really easily because how many real estate agents are vying after Eastmark and Cadence, right? But there might be several going after Mesa. So Grok was just not cooperating, so I moved over to ChatGPT, and I'll share my screen right here just for the sake of time. So 5 stellar real estate professionals. Shannon Gillette, I'm not surprised. We know Shannon has a huge online presence, and she does a lot with video, so that's not surprising. She's also located in Queen Creek, Arizona, which is very close to where Eastmark is. They butt up to each other, so that makes sense. Lorraine, again, interesting. I don't know who this is, but she's got 17 years experience in Mesa with 178 sales. I know why it's picking her. her bio has been optimized for experience and her sales history. That's interesting. Kenny Klaus, we're not surprised. Alicia Anderson, I don't know who that is. And Amy, I've actually heard of Amy. I don't know her personally. So what does it matter? Let's go down and look at the sources, because we want to see, how did it pick these agents? Guess what? That's Shannon's website. That's a blog article. Shannon is the #1 rated agent because she is optimizing her website and her blog. What is the title of the blog? Meet the top 5 producing Mesa, meet the top producing Mesa, Arizona realtor. That's a blog article. Kudos to her. By the way, she does a really good job on executing, because Pantana talked about this on Instagram probably like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. She's already executed on it. And clearly it's working. She is going for it. Fast Expert, we already know. Choice Home Warranty. I should reach out to, you know what, Gail, let's do that. Let's reach out to our home warranty experts and have them put on their blog and rank the agents. So you can rank agents on your website, your home warranty, your title company, start using your strategic partners and have them do it. This is a blog article. That's a news article. Yelp, we already know. That's a blog article. Zillow, we already know. That's a blog. That's just an agent's website. Redfin, Sotheby's, agent website. Agent Pronto is not an agent website, but it is a third party. ArizonaRealEstate.com, I'm sure that's an agent's website. Toll Brothers is a builder. Now you can see what's happening. Shannon, this was a perfect, I didn't even plan that. Shannon was the #1 listed agent for multiple reasons, I'm sure. She has the sales history. She has the listing count that it can see from Zillow and Homes.com and all of that. But also it's citing her website as a top Mesa real estate agent. So I have your buy-in that this is important, that you update your bios, right? Specifically what you say about yourself, even on your own website. So let's talk about step 3. You need to claim your spot, right? As you're going around and doing these search, do a lot of different search. Really think about, how do I want to be found? What do I want to be known for? Do I want to be top? Do I want to be customer service? Do I want to be concierge? Do I want to be, what neighborhood, what type of home, what type of consumer do I want to find me through their search? And that's how you're going to start to optimize. So the next thing is, you got to claim your spot. Right? You've got to claim your spot. And what that means is, I want you to go update all of your bios, right? Like, it's important that you go update your bios. So after you test the water, update your bios. Now, AI loves a braggy agent. So I also want you to get braggadocious. Like, I legitimately, like, if you were the top agent in your brokerage for a time, right? Like, you can say top agent, right? I'm not asking you to lie. If you've never made the top 10 or whatever, right? Like, but whatever accolades, whatever credentials you have, Gail, like if you're GRE and you have all these different things, expert negotiator, any type of rankings, I know you're got to be in the top 1% because you crush it, right? Like, use those in your bio. Right? Because AI pays attention to that. So after you go in and update all of your bios. Now, I'm going to put in here the link to, and again, I'm going to make sure Jeremy puts this in the resources. But I just put a link to how to optimize your bio, and this is from Jason Pantana. So it's going to take you to AI Marketing Academy, and he's going to ask for your email address, but guys, it's worth it. You don't have to sign up for AI Marketing Academy, but to get this prompt and everything, he just wants your email address, and then he'll send you a follow-up email that says, hey, are you interested in this? But he's got the exact prompt that you need to have AI help you write your bio. Right? Wouldn't it be nice if I didn't have to guess how to write my bio? Jason's given you the prompt on exactly how to write your bio, and it tells ChatGPT exactly what to ask you, and it's letting it know, I want you to talk to me about Google, Zillow, Realtor, Fast Expert, all of these things. I want you to talk to me about my my specialties, where I work, and then rewrite my bio for all of these. Give me 3 versions. Why 3 versions? Well, because Zillow's character count is different than Google's character count. So you're going to need several versions so that you can match the character count without losing the juiciness of what we want, right? Now, I absolutely love this. And so the other thing that Jason gave me to give you guys is he said that if you do want to sign up for AI Marketing Academy, that he is giving you 50% off for forever. He said they can sign up at AI Marketing Academy and use the code FAM50 for half off forever, which is pretty cool because that was just super generous of him. He didn't have to do that. So
well, one quick note, I put in the chat right there, Agent Breakthrough Reel is doing all of this with him for free. So you could do it through Real Broker for free. Now you don't have to be at Real. They're opening this up to everybody. And the cool thing about Real, there's never sales pitches on Real. So just sign up, come learn. So there you go.
okay, I can stay on for like 4 more minutes. And that I know that was a whirlwind. All of the prompts are being sent to Jeremy, all of the codes, and obviously he'll give us the stuff for through Reel as well to be able to do that. But I know you guys probably have some questions. Let's do some questions.
I just have to say real quick, this is so much fun when you come on because I can sit back and just like read all the comments and watch. I don't have to do much heavy lifting. So if you want Kristi to come back, please just write in the comments, more Kristi, more Kristi. And we might just make Agent Tactics Kristi Tactics. So
Oh
we'll have
gosh,
to go.
that's a big commitment.
Yeah. Yeah. More Kristi. Look at all the more
Okay,
Kristis, everybody.
you guys. That's why I said I come on here because you guys are like ChatGPT. You glaze me and make me feel good. Who's feeling overwhelmed? Let's do a simple next step. What is, and let's have Gail, based on, because you were my student today, Gail, what is your next step?
I'm going to run the prompt and then start with the schema. I'm going to have it give me the step-by-step for dummies.
Okay, I love that. Do you feel overwhelmed based on how fast we were going and everything we covered?
It was a lot, but I will tackle it one step at a time.
That's the best way, right? Just one step at a time, one bio at a time. Now, one thing that's interesting is, the prompt does ask you for how many reviews you have and how many sales you have. So just the operator in me can't get off this call without saying, please put together an SOP that every single month you or your assistant is going to go in and count your reviews and count your sales and update your bios. Right? Because like mine said that I have a Great Dane. I haven't owned my Great Dane's been gone for a long time. I'm like, dang, I need to update my profile. Right? So if we're trying to help the large language models know us, you need to put together a protocol to update your bio. Becky, what's your next step?
Sorry, I have to unmute. So I've already loaded the prompt, the initial prompt of how to asking it about me. And it's come up with some things to do. So that is my next step. I've already started doing blogging and stuff. And so I actually just created a huge one and have a whole plan for that. So I think the combination of those two is going to help a lot.
Good deal. And Jason Pantana has shared, I think on his on Instagram, he has shared some blog prompts, and he's got a very, very intensive blog prompt. If you can get your hands on it, it's really good. So let's see who's next. Tom, what's your next step? Oh, you're muted.
First step for Tom.
There we go.
Unmute. There you go.
Yeah, I couldn't unmute. I think Jeremy did that to me.
Yeah,
Man, to watch this video again, I'm gonna go do those prompts just to see what happens. I have no idea what to expect. I know I haven't taken advantage of. We have this Best of Georgetown, and I've been, it's an award that's whatever. I get that every year for the last 9 years, and I need to take advantage of that.
Okay, I like it. He's going to go back, watch this video, go through the prompts. I like it. Catherine.
Hi, I was just typing out that I'm about to go on tour, so I'm glad you called me next because I was about to jump off. So thank you and Jeremy for hosting this. I'm definitely going to go through the prompt that you just shared with Jason. I'm actually in his AIM class now. So a lot of that is probably a little bit on repeat, but it was a great reminder as well. And I haven't done it for all of my social media profiles, only for a few. So I'll go in and complete that. And I love the reference of Fast Expert. I'm definitely going to dive into that a little bit more. And yep, that's my to-do.
Perfect. I'll make sure that Jeremy and I follow up with this in what month are we in? We're August. We'll follow up with this in September, and we'll go a little bit deeper on the blogging in particular, because I didn't do this, but like if you type in to any of the large language models, if you say, is Savannah, Georgia a good place to live? Heather Murphy will show up every single time on every single platform. We started this a year ago. If you want to know anything about the Woodlands, Texas, Chase Giles dominates Woodland, Texas with all of his content. And we started blogging probably about 6 or 7 months ago. All of his YouTube content was not in a blog format. That was one of the first things that we changed, and it immediately impacted how he started showing up outside of YouTube. We already know it's working for YouTube. We wanted it to work for other areas. So as ever, I appreciate you, Jeremy, having me on. I appreciate you guys showing up, participating, having your cameras on, being willing to be a student today and to share. Make sure that you didn't just waste an hour of your life, right? The best thing that you can do moving forward is to implement, even if it's just one small thing. Thanks,
Awesome.
everybody.
Thanks.
All right, as she pops off, I'm going to give you a couple quick notes. For those that wanted a replay of this, I post the replay on my YouTube channel tomorrow. So Agent Tactics on YouTube. I put in there this Firefly MyFlow Desk link. If you sign up on there and put your email in, you get the weekly agent emails, and so you'll actually be emailed the link to the and you'll get the playbook as well. Link works, Rebecca said. So there's the YouTube channel. If you subscribe on there, we cut up some clips and put it on there, and then the full tomorrow around noon time, the full episode will drop again, so you can rewatch it there. If you're not on the agent list or email list, it emails out once a week, and then it also tells you who the next person coming on. So thanks, Christina. Appreciate everybody. We will see you next Thursday. Another special guest that I'm not going to announce quite yet. Okay, we'll see you next week.